Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's virtual lesson on figures of speech. I am Jeremy Morales, one of your instructors for this session. I hope you're all ready to dive into some exciting learning. So, since it's the first subject of the morning, you are free to have coffee on your seat while you take note on our discussion. So, for the objective of our lesson, at the end of the lesson, you students will be able to be an expert in the usage of hyperbole, give importance to the uses, and give the simple definition of sentences using hyperbole. For our session, we will be getting to know the different importance and uses of the figure of speech, which is hyperbole. There are lots of figures of speech in the English language, right? However, for you to be able to really grasp and become an expert to the use of hyperbole, we are going to wholly take that topic in our lecture today. Now, we will be giving the definition of hyperbole. Hyperbole in definition is an exaggerated statement or claims not meant to be taken literally, or it is a rhetorical device that is mainly used to make something look and sound better than it actually is. So, how do we use hyperbole? Now think of what you want to write about. The quality of that particular person, place, animal, object, or idea that you want to exaggerate. To emphasize something or to make mind-blowing effect to the reader or listener, we can use hyperbole. In short, these are expressions that is used to say or write things that make something much more impressive than it really is. Alright? Now, let's give an example for you to be able to really understand what hyperbole is. Now, let's read our example number 1. Haley is washing a mountain of dishes. I know all of you here have already seen what mountain is. Mountain is composed of trees, not dishes, right? It's not composed of plates or bowls or spoons or forks or cups and mugs and glasses. It's composed of trees. But this sentence does not literally mean that Haley is washing a mountain, right? The definition of this sentence is the speaker is hyperbolizing that the subject Haley is washing piled up uncountable dishes, which looks like a mountain in a lavatory, which simply means that maybe Haley's family held a party with a lot of attendees, with a lot of visitors or a lot of people attending. Therefore, at the end of the day or at the end of that party, there were lots of dishes piled up in the lavatory. So that is what we mean by mountain of dishes. It's not literally a mountain which you can see with trees, but it's just an exaggeration which you just want to say that there's a lot of dishes. Did you get it? Alright, so let's go with our example number 2. Let's read the sentence. Rika explained the story 20,000 times to Ali. What do you think is the definition of this sentence for example number 2? So the definition of this sentence is Rico, or Rico, because Ali didn't understand his first explanation, Rico reiterated his explanation. Or Rico might have used a lot of explanations for Ali to really understand what Rico is trying to say. But it doesn't actually literally mean that like Rico explained it 20,000 times, because that would make Rico and Ali have a conversation until the next day or maybe for a week. So it doesn't literally mean that they talked for like 20 or for a very long time, like a whole day or whole 2 days, right? So it's just exaggerating, like Ali wasn't able to really grasp or comprehend what Rico is trying to imply. So Rico explained the sentence to Ali a lot of times, but it's not literally 20,000 times. Okay, now let's test your understanding with a few quick evaluation questions. So I will be asking, or I'll be flashing questions or sentences, and I want you to pause the video to think about the sentence and come up with your own simple definition. Are you ready? Now let's try to look at the first sentence. So our first sentence for our little evaluation is, that bag cost Yuka an arm and a leg. Now pause the video for a second and think about the sentence. Okay, so the sentence is trying to say that the bag cost like a fortune, which means like the bag is really pricey. But it didn't literally mean that Yuka lost her arm or her leg just because of the bag, but it's just exaggerating that the bag is very pricey, which means that Yuka has to work through her arms and her legs to be able to get that bag, right? To be able to buy that pricey bag. So when we say arm and a leg, means it's beyond what you have, or it's the amount of something is beyond of what you have been saving, which means it's very expensive, right? Now let's move on to our evaluation number 2. Taka and Akari broke up. Now Akari is crying a river. Crying a river. I know everyone has seen a river, right? When we say river, it's where water or natural water like just falls unstoppable. But in the sentence, it's not literally, or it does not literally mean that Akari has a lot of tears, which looks like a river. But it just means that, or it's just giving that strong feeling that Akari was really hurt and she didn't have a choice but to cry a lot. Maybe not just for one day, but you know, like this day and then the next day, the next days, and you know, like it took her months to really move on from the breakup. So that is the definition of the sentence. It's not literally mean that the amount of tears of Akari, or the amount of Akari's tears is like the same with what we see in the river, like the waters falling in the or flowing in the river. Alright, so that is the definition of our second sentence. Now the evaluation is already complete. Therefore, in our conclusion, I hope that you were able to appreciate the functions of Hyperbole and use them in your creative writing. Since you're already in grade 10, I know you will go to senior high school and your teachers will be expecting you to write a lot of creative writings or literary pieces, or evaluate and analyze and interpret like a lot of literary pieces. So again, hyperbole is a creative way of writing to give more beauty to our literary writings. So I hope you were able to get something in our virtual session this morning. Again, I'm Jeremy Morales, your teacher for today. Goodbye.